Okay, so you have to hear about these two lion cubs, Carlos and Ivana. Their story is kind of sad. They were born in 2019 on this really terrible lion bone farm in South Africa. Yep, people were actually keeping lions just for their bones. How messed up is that? When rescuers found them, they looked awful. They were so weak they couldn't even walk properly, shaking all over, and super skinny because they hadn't been fed right. It was the kind of sight that makes your heart ache because no animal should ever have to live like that. But that wasn't the end of their story. The NSPCA came to their rescue, and Carlos and Ivana finally began to get the care they needed. They were given healthy food, medicine, and gentle care, things they should have had from the very beginning. Slowly, day by day, those little cubs began to change. At first, they still stumbled around like babies learning how to walk, but as time went on, they grew stronger. Their steps became steadier, their eyes grew brighter, and soon enough, they were playing, jumping, and running like real lion cubs again. Their new home became Panthera Africa, a safe sanctuary where no one could ever hurt them again. There, they finally had space to be lions, to stretch, explore, and bond with each other. Their names even carry hope. Carlos means free man, and Ivana means gift from heaven. And that's exactly what they are now, free, loved, and truly a gift to everyone who gets to see them thrive. Back in 2001, police in Atlanta made a shocking discovery. When they raided a drug dealer's house, they didn't just find illegal stuff. They found 3 tiny cubs living in awful conditions. There was a lion cub, a tiger cub, and a bear cub. Can you imagine that? All 3 babies were weak, scared, and suffering. It was heartbreaking, but thankfully, rescuers stepped in and took them to a sanctuary where they could finally be safe. Usually, animals like lions, tigers, and bears don't live together. In the wild, they'd never even meet. Most people thought they'd have to be separated, but these 3 were already so close, the caretakers decided to keep them together. And that's when something amazing happened. Instead of fighting or drifting apart, the cubs became the best of friends. They were named Baloo the bear, Leo the lion, and Shere Khan the tiger, and together they became known as the BLT. As they grew up, their friendship only got stronger. They wrestled like brothers, napped side by side, and even cuddled together. Watching a giant bear, a powerful lion, and a striped tiger snuggle was something no one could have ever expected. They didn't care that they were different species. They only cared about the bond they shared. For over 15 years, the BLT lived happily at the sanctuary, showing the world that friendship has no limits. When one of them passed away, the others showed signs of sadness, proving just how deep their love really was. Their story touched millions of hearts and reminded everyone that even in the darkest beginnings, something beautiful can grow. There's another animal who became a true symbol of hope. Her name was Winter, and she was a bottlenose dolphin with one of the most inspiring stories ever. Winter was rescued off the coast of Florida when she was just a baby. She had been caught in a crab trap, and the ropes cut off circulation to her tail. Even though rescuers worked hard to save her, the damage was too severe, and Winter lost her tail. For a dolphin, that's a life-threatening injury because they use their tails to swim. Most dolphins wouldn't survive. But Winter wasn't like most dolphins. Cared for at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, she began to learn how to swim in her own unique way, moving side to side instead of up and down. But the story didn't stop there. A team of experts designed a special prosthetic tail just for her, the first of its kind. With it, Winter could glide through the water again, proving that nothing could hold her back. Winter's courage touched millions of people around the world, especially children and veterans with disabilities who saw her as a reflection of their own struggles and strength. Her story became so powerful that it inspired the hit movie Dolphin Tale, spreading her message of resilience even further. Winter lived for 16 incredible years, reminding everyone who met her that challenges don't have to define us, they can make us stronger. Though she passed away in 2021, her legacy still lives on, showing that even in the face of loss, hope can carry us forward. Let's move deep into the snowy forests of Russia, where another story of second chances unfolded, this time with one of the world's rarest big cats, the Siberian tiger. Her name is Cinderella. Cinderella's life began with tragedy. As a young cub, she was found wandering alone in the Russian wilderness, starving and without her mother. Experts believe poachers may have killed her mother, leaving Cinderella with no one to care for her. For a tiger so small, survival seemed impossible. But fate stepped in. Rescuers brought her to a rehabilitation center where she was carefully nursed back to health. At first, she was weak and frightened, but little by little, she grew stronger. Caretakers made sure she didn't become too dependent on humans. They wanted her to learn how to be wild, how to hunt, and how to survive on her own. Over the months, Cinderella transformed from a vulnerable orphan into a confident young tigress. Then came the most important moment of all, her release back into the wild. When the gates opened, Cinderella stepped into the snowy forest, free again. And the story doesn't end there. Later, researchers discovered she had not only survived, but thrived. She claimed her own territory, met a male tiger, and eventually became a mother herself, helping her species fight against extinction. In the cold, snowy land of Siberia, a tiny black leopard cub named Luna came into the world, but her life started really sad. Just a few days after she was born, her mom abandoned her. She was all alone, hungry, and way too small to survive by herself. It makes me want to cry thinking about how scared she must have felt. But then something amazing happened. A kind woman found her and decided to help. She bottle-fed Luna like a baby and stayed up at night to make sure she was okay. Slowly, with love and care, Luna got stronger every day. But the best part? Luna didn't just find a human mom. She also found an unexpected best friend. The woman had a big Rottweiler dog, and instead of being scared of each other, they became super close. They played tag, wrestled, and even cuddled together. Seeing a leopard and a dog being like brother and sister is just so cool, and it shows that love can make the most unlikely friendships possible. As Luna grew up, she turned into one of the most beautiful leopards ever. Her shiny black fur glows in the sunlight, and she climbs, jumps, and plays like she's full of joy. It's hard to believe she was once a weak, abandoned cub, because now she's strong and happy. People all over the world fell in love with Luna after seeing her story online. Her playful adventures, silly moments, and sweet bond with her dog friend made millions of hearts smile. And guess what? Her owner even made a channel called Luna_the Pantera, where you can watch her grow and live her amazing life. Luna's story proves that even if life starts really sad, kindness and love can change everything. In the snowy town of Juneau, Alaska, people started noticing a giant black wolf roaming around the edges of their community. At first, everyone was nervous, because come on, it's a wolf. Wolves are supposed to be dangerous, right? But this one was different. Instead of scaring people or hurting animals, the wolf, who the locals named Romeo, just wanted to hang out. The craziest part is how much he loved playing with dogs. People would bring their dogs out to the frozen lake, and there would be Romeo, ready to join in like he was just another pet. He'd chase sticks, run alongside the dogs, and even play fetch. Imagine a huge, wild wolf running around, wagging his tail, having fun like he belonged there. It's almost unbelievable. For 6 whole years, Romeo became a friend to the people of Juneau. Kids would see him while sledding, hikers would spot him on trails, and skiers would notice him gliding through the snow nearby. And every time he stayed gentle, calm, and playful. It was like he knew he was safe with them, and they were safe with him. That kind of trust between a wild wolf and humans is so rare. It feels like something out of a magical story. Sadly, after those 6 amazing years, Romeo passed away. The people of Juneau were heartbroken because he wasn't just a wild animal to them anymore. He was family. They even built a memorial in his honor, so everyone could remember the black wolf who taught them that not all wild creatures are meant to be feared. In 2006, at the Berlin Zoo in Germany, a tiny polar bear cub was born. His name was Knut, and even though he was small and fluffy, his start in life was really sad. His mother rejected him, leaving him alone with no chance of survival. Most polar bear cubs wouldn't make it without their mum's care, but Knut was lucky, because a devoted zookeeper named Thomas Dörflein stepped in. Thomas became Knut's foster dad. He bottle-fed him, kept him warm, and even slept beside him to make sure he wasn't lonely. He played with him, comforted him, and taught him how to explore the world. The bond between Knut and Thomas was something truly special, like a parent and child. When Knut grew strong enough, the zoo introduced him to the public, and the world went absolutely crazy for him. People lined up for hours just to catch a glimpse of the little white cub. He became an international star, appearing on magazine covers and TV shows. But what touched people the most wasn't his fame, it was his story. Knut was proof that with love and care, even the weakest life can shine bright. Sadly, in 2011, Knut's life ended too soon when he passed away at only 4 years old. The world mourned him deeply, but his legacy lives on, reminding us that kindness can change everything and that sometimes love is the strongest survival tool of all. Knut's story showed how one person's love can save a life. But sometimes it's not just about saving an animal. It's about creating a bond so deep that it feels almost magical. That's what happened with Kevin Richardson, who the world now calls the Lion Whisperer. Kevin grew up in South Africa, and from a young age, he was fascinated by animals, especially lions. Most people would never dare get close to such powerful predators, but Kevin saw something different in them. He believed that if he treated lions with kindness, respect, and trust, they would see him as more than just another human. And he was right. Instead of using fear or dominance, Kevin raised lions by forming real friendships with them. He played with them, rolled on the ground with them, and even slept beside them. Videos of him hugging full-grown lions, walking with them, and being greeted with love instead of aggression shocked the world. How could a man walk into a pride of lions and be welcomed like family? The answer is simple: trust. Kevin never forced the lions to obey him. He earned their love through patience and care, and in return, the lions treated him like one of their own. His work showed people that these big predators aren't just beasts to fear, but intelligent, emotional creatures capable of connection. Kevin's bond with lions showed us how trust can break the walls between humans and wild animals. But what if someone went even further? Not just visiting animals, but actually living with them. That's exactly what happened with Sha Ellis, who became known as the Wolfman of Devon. Sean was a British ex-soldier who decided to leave normal human life behind and step into a world most people would never dare enter, the world of wolves. Instead of just studying them from afar, he actually lived inside a wolf enclosure in England. To fit in, Sean did things most of us can barely imagine. He ate raw meat, howled into the night sky, and even slept right beside the wolves. Slowly, the pack began to accept him, not as a visitor, but as one of their own. Over time, the wolves treated Sean like family. They let him share their food, welcomed him into their dens, and responded to his howls like he was truly part of the pack. It wasn't about pretending to be a wolf. It was about respecting their ways so deeply that they trusted him completely. People all over the world were stunned. How could a human give up comfort, safety, and even regular food just to live like a wolf? For Sean, the answer was simple. He wanted to understand them from the inside out, to show the world that wolves aren't just dangerous predators, they're loyal, emotional, and family-oriented animals. Sean's life with wolves showed us how far someone can go to connect with wild animals. But sometimes, it's the whole world that comes together to save one. That's what happened with Keiko the orca, the most famous whale rescue story ever. You probably know Keiko as the star of the movie Free Willy. Millions of kids cheered when Willy jumped over that wall to freedom on screen. But in real life, Keiko wasn't free at all. After the movie's release, fans found out that the whale who played Willy was living in a tiny tank in Mexico, sick and struggling. People were heartbroken. They didn't just want a happy ending on film, they wanted one for Keiko too. And so, something incredible happened. Donations from fans, kids, and even big companies poured in to rescue him. Keiko was moved from Mexico to Oregon, where he got medical care and learned how to swim properly again. Then, in an extraordinary step, he was flown all the way to Iceland to begin his journey back into the wild ocean. For the first time in decades, Keiko felt the salt water of the open sea. He swam, dived, and explored the ocean the way an orca was always meant to. Even though he never fully joined a wild pod, Keiko lived out his final years in freedom, traveling the waters he was born to roam. After hearing about Keiko's amazing journey, you might think nothing could be sweeter. But then there's the story of a little penguin named Dindim and a kind fisherman named Joao, and honestly, it feels straight out of a miracle. It all started on a beach in Brazil, when Joao found a tiny Magellanic penguin lying helpless in the sand. Poor Dindim was starving, covered in oil, and way too weak to survive on his own. Most people would have just walked past, but not Joao. He gently picked him up, cleaned the sticky oil off his feathers, and fed him fresh fish every day until the penguin grew stronger. Everyone thought that once Dindim healed, he would swim back to the ocean and never look back. After all, penguins are wild animals. They don't usually stick around with humans. But Dindim surprised everyone. When Joao released him, instead of disappearing forever, he came back. And not just once. Year after year, this little penguin swam thousands of miles through dangerous seas just to see his human best friend again. Whenever he returned, Dindim waddled straight into Joao's arms, rubbing against him like a loyal pet. Joao would smile, laugh, and welcome him back with more fish and care. The two shared a bond that no one could explain. Even scientists were amazed, because penguins don't usually recognize humans like that. Yet Dindim chose Joao as his family. Dindim the penguin showed us how one act of kindness can turn into a lifelong friendship. But in the wild, sometimes the most unforgettable stories come from animals whose lives are filled with drama and courage. That was the case with Wolf 302 from Yellowstone, a wolf so famous people called him Casanova. Wolf 302 was born into one of Yellowstone's most powerful wolf families, but he wasn't like the other strong, disciplined males. Instead of leading the pack, he lived a more carefree life, wandering on his own, sneaking into territories, and even charming females from other packs. That's how he earned his nickname. He was more interested in adventure and romance than in being a tough alpha. For years, 302 lived on the edge of danger. Wolves are territorial, and being a wanderer meant he was always taking risks. Yet somehow, he survived. Then came a big twist. His brother, the powerful alpha of the Druids, was killed, and suddenly 302 found himself stepping into a role no one expected. The once playful outsider became a leader, protecting pups and guiding the pack through harsh Yellowstone winters. People who studied him were amazed. It was like watching a carefree teenager grow into a responsible dad. Wolf 302 proved that even those who start out unsure and reckless can rise to the occasion when it matters most. Dean Schneider's journey is one of those rare stories that feels almost too incredible to be true. Born in Switzerland, Dean lived what many would call a successful life, working in finance, wearing suits, and climbing the corporate ladder. He had money, comfort, and stability, but deep down, he knew something was missing. Ever since he was a little boy, Dean had been fascinated by animals. He would spend hours learning about them, dreaming of one day living among them. That childhood dream never faded, and eventually it became too strong to ignore. Dean realized that no amount of office success could compare to the call of the wild. So he made a decision that would change his life forever. He left everything behind to dedicate himself completely to animals. He moved to South Africa and created Hakuna Mipaka, which means no limits in Swahili. The sanctuary became a safe home for rescued lions, hyenas, monkeys, and other wildlife. But more than that, it became a place where humans and animals could connect in ways few ever thought possible. Dean didn't just want to observe animals from afar. He wanted to live alongside them, earn their trust, and become part of their family. That's why when people see Dean today, he isn't behind a fence. He's right there in the middle of the pride, hugging lions, laughing with hyenas, and even lying on the ground as big cats snuggle against him. What makes Dean's story so powerful is that he doesn't treat animals as props, trophies, or pets. He treats them as equals, showing millions of people online that wild animals are not monsters to fear, but intelligent, emotional beings. Videos of him being greeted with lion hugs or getting playful nibbles from hyenas shock the world. Not because the animals are tame, but because the bond is real, built on respect and trust. Today, Dean uses his platform to inspire millions across the globe with a simple but powerful message: we only protect what we love. And by sharing his life with lions, Dean has helped the world fall in love with the wild again. In the misty mountains of Rwanda, a woman named Dian Fossey changed the way the world saw gorillas forever. Back in the 1960s, most people thought of gorillas as terrifying beasts, dangerous, violent, and best avoided. But Dian saw something different. She believed that if she could live among them, she might discover their true nature. So, in 1967, she set up camp in the Virunga Mountains and began what would become a lifetime mission: protecting mountain gorillas. At first, the gorillas were afraid of her. They kept their distance, grunted in warning, and disappeared into the forest whenever she came near. But Dian was patient. She crawled on her hands and knees to mimic their movements, ate wild plants they liked, and even copied their vocalizations. Slowly, incredibly, the gorillas began to accept her. Over time, they allowed her to sit among them, touch them, and even play with the young ones. She showed the world that gorillas weren't savage monsters at all. They were gentle, intelligent, and deeply social creatures. But while Dian gained the gorillas' trust, she also gained enemies. Poachers were killing gorillas for meat and trophies, and babies were stolen for the illegal pet trade. Dian fought back fiercely, setting up patrols to remove snares, rescuing orphans, and confronting poachers head-on. Her dedication was so fierce that she was both admired and feared. The world came to know her through her groundbreaking book, Gorillas in the Mist, which shared the beauty and struggles of her work. Sadly, in 1985, Dian Fossey was found murdered in her cabin, and her killer has never been officially identified. But her mission didn't die with her. The Dian Fossey Gorilla Fund continues her work, protecting gorillas and their forests to this day. Thanks to her, mountain gorillas have gone from the brink of extinction to a species slowly recovering. Dian Fossey proved that one person's courage can change the fate of an entire species, and that compassion is the most powerful weapon against fear. Which one of these incredible stories was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel because we've got so many more stories like these to share. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.